Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Strat Gamer here, and welcome back to a new Anno 1800 episode. Welcome back to our series for the world record of population with skyscrapers. We are continuing this series. If you remember, we've already talked a lot about some of the production chains, but not that much about the actual investors themselves and skyscrapers themselves. So this is what this episode today is about. I'm going to show you sort of perfect island, what items I'm using, what recipes and patent I'm using in the different department stores, what cultural elements, all those type of things were from A to Z, from start to finish. I'll actually also even show you very quickly now the actual construction process, because this is the end process, but in a second we'll go back to when there was nothing on this island and I'll show you I started, so you can also replicate that on your side without too much effort. Before we dive in, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. A lot of Anno 1800 content, including a live stream series for new joiners, new beginners, also just Anno fans, a lot of other content, including on other games. So don't hesitate to subscribe so you never miss another episode and you also support the channel. Also, if you want to see previous episodes of this series, don't hesitate to check the series that will appear now at the top, or also look after this episode in the description of the video, or also on my channel you can find playlists for each of those series. Okay, let's dive into the actual construction process. Hope you like it. It really isn't long, but if you want to skip that and go directly to my explanation, you can also use the chapter functionality at the bottom to get to the next part. Okay, so I hope you liked, the construction process. Really didn't, detail it that much, but basically really trying to cover the whole island as much as possible with your town halls, like I did here. Then starting to place your here your power plants, because they are key for your skyscraper. This is sort of the basic needs that they will need. And then starting to place your population, putting the department stores and all to have maximum coverage. The only thing a bit annoying about them is you have to click on them one by one to see where it starts and ends. Contrary, to something like police station, you just click on one and you see the coverage for the whole island, right? Because I have police stations a bit everywhere. So indeed, this was also something I really wanted. I have perfect coverage of police station, perfect coverage of fire stations, as you can see here, and also hospitals. You can see perfect coverage. This obviously reduces a bit the population, the end population, but I think this is important to be a bit realistic. Now, let's dive into a couple of elements, starting with what many of you may be wondering is the items in the town halls. Now I can click on one, but also if you go into your balance here, city institutions, you can see all of your the fire station, hospitals, and police station and mansion. If you go into administration, you'll see the town halls and trade unions. Let's start with the town halls. As you can see, they all have exactly the same items. That's what I wanted to show you. I'm not lying. And if we click on them, see those three items. The first one is Pietro. Pietro is actually an old item. It was already there before Skyscrapers. The reason I'm using it is not so much for the increase in residents, because it's actually only 10 if I'm not mistaken, or 5 even. 5, sorry, it's 10% of the base residents of investors, which was 50, therefore 5, but it's for the bonus supply, because residencies with the electricity need fulfilled are provided with bank and member club, which is why I don't have a single bank or member club on the whole island, but I still get I have a festival going, that's providing 40, so instead of 75, right, it is 35. But yes, plus 35 happiness, also a lot of money. I'm actually making 1 million just on this island. If we go to happiness, all of them are getting bank and member club, because obviously I have great coverage of electricity. I'm also going to give them jewelry and pocket watches to make that money. Maybe at some point we'll stop it, but for sure I'm not gonna give penny farthing and gramophone. At least that's my current decision. You can see also a lot of other bonuses we're gonna cover, but yeah, that was the town halls for the first one. Pietro for the bonus supply. Then those two are new. The Blue Skies delivery service only for skyscrapers. It does increase the maintenance cost slightly, 10%, but look at the bonus supply. Residencies with the department store, furniture store, or drugstore are provided with chewing gum, billiard table, and violin. Basically, if you have the department store, you're provided with chewing gum, the furniture store with billiard tables, and the drugstore with violin. And because of that, let's look at my consumption needs for those goods. It is basically non-existent, right? Because it's only the people that are not covered by the town hall that will need it. So 1 chewing gum, 1 violin, and 4 billiard tables. So imagine if I didn't have that item, how much I would need. I mean, yeah, no, I'm not gonna delete them all to show you, but it would be a lot. And then lastly, this one, again, increases the maintenance cost by 15%, but it increases the happiness by a lot, which is, again, important so that we don't have to give all of the elements on that side, plus also bonus residences. And it's not 5 in total, it's 5 per thing. It's like 5 for biscuits, 5 for typewriters, 5 for cognac, violin. So that's huge. You know, that's how we can get to this is this level 4, level 5, level 5. That's how you get to 350 for just one house. Contrary, you know, if you remember, the investor house, the base investor house is 50. That's 7 times this. This is huge. So, and the other reason why this is great is actually you don't really care about this plus 15% maintenance cost, because the income will increase by more than 15%. Let me show you what I mean. This is a level 5. 14,000, you know, almost 15,000 and 5,000 of maintenance, right? Now, if I take, where is the, here? If I take out, we are sure we're now at 4,700 instead of 5,000. So, you know, the maintenance went down by 300, 400 type of thing, right? Because now the income went down by almost 3,000. So you see that she's more than covering for fair share with this. So definitely, I think these are the best items. The only reason you would want to put another item is if you can't keep up with the production. For example, you're unable to fulfill, you know, the champagne need, then you may want to put Aristella, who gives champagne, right? But then you would definitely have less people on the island, because she brings a lot of people, and he also brings a few people, plus bank and member club. So these are my choice of items for the town halls. Going back here, we can also check the trade unions. I have 7. You can see 4 of them have those 3 items, and 3 of them I have these ones. I'm sure you can understand that these 4 here are for the mines. I'll show you very quickly. You know, covering all of the mines here, there, as much as possible, covering 2 at once, of course. Because we have 7 mines, I've all put them on iron, putting Georg for the productivity, but most importantly for the oil. Thanks to him, even if I don't have any oil field at all on the island, you will see that I'm producing more oil than what I need. So that's amazing. I don't need a tanker, just leave it like this and it will work, no problem. Then this one is for the extra iron. So basically sort of doubles my iron production, right? Because all of the mines are iron, and every time the mines produce 1 iron, they produce an extra iron. So doubling the iron productions as if I have 14 iron mines, which will be useful for a lot of my productions. Of course, not on site. I'm going to send it all to the Cape, to Frankfurt, sorry. And then lastly, I put Ferras. Why Ferras, you ask? Because he brings 50% productivity boost. So huge productivity boost. I didn't put anyone linked to, you know, reducing the workforce, because I'm gonna have so much workforce. Look, I'm already at 21,000 and I've barely touched any of the island on this map. So definitely I don't need to reduce workforce for workers. I definitely need to reduce workforce for artisans and engineers when I can, but not for workers. So that was the first type of town halls, and then the trade union, sorry. The second type is around these arcades. You can see one here, there's one there, always covering the arcades, and also one there. Why? Well, you're gonna see very quickly. There's a big storm outside. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Sorry if that's noisy. Those 2 are to reduce the workforce. Why? because, as I said, these ones are actually artisans. So I want to reduce that. I don't have a lot of artisans. I need a lot of artisans. So they are pretty good, those two, reducing artisans workforce by 10 and workforce by 20. So those two are for the workforce. And that one, it does increase the workforce by 10%. But look at what it does. Replaced input. Instead of cherry wood, wood veneers, coconut oil, steel, and brass, the building processes just basic wood, tallow, and iron. That is amazing. Like, cherry wood, wood veneers, they take a lot of space, a lot more than just basic wood. Similarly, coconut oil is not that easy to make, right? It's an orchard, it takes a lot of space, versus tallow. If you remember some of my previous videos, I'm getting tons of tallow for free in my on my coastal production, so I have a lot of tallow. And lastly, steel and brass, replaced by iron. And we're producing a lot of iron, so that's all great. So this one is definitely amazing. You want her. If there is other items that you think are better than those two, I'd love to hear about it. Don't hesitate to use the comments below. But I think these are the one I want to use. Now, next step is the department, local department. I am actually using the Department of Administration and not the Department of Welfare. Department of Welfare is great to have less power stations, power plants, right? Because it increases the area of influence. So instead of, like, I don't know, I have 5 or 6, I'll need a lot less, which is good for two things. One is you need less oil, but we've seen that I'm producing enough oil anyway on the island for free. So that's not really a bonus. The only real bonus of this would be you need less railways, which are taking space, which could be used for houses, right? In particular, sometimes it creates bad things like this here. But this one is, in this case, a lot more important. Why? Well, it goes back to what I just said, is I'm gonna need a lot of artisans and also quite a bit of engineers for all of the production on ground floors. All of the things that we talked about in previous videos, like, the artisan workshops, the chemical plants, they all need a lot of population. You can't put them in your workforce. So having, this local department giving 300 of workforce for each of the tier per town hall, given that, we saw I had 11 town hall or so, something, 13 town hall just on this island. If you count all of these islands, that's a lot of workforce that I'm getting again for free, because I don't need to feed them. And on top of this, there is a policy that's pretty good. 30% reduced needs for all food, which in our case mean reduce for chocolate, chewing gum, and biscuits. And in particular, chocolate and biscuits, that's quite nice. Chewing gum, we've seen that we were already super low, so it's not a big thing. But chocolate and biscuits, that is big. So that is why what we're doing for local departments. Moving on to now the culture aspects. I have 3 different sets. One is a zoo that you can see here, and the zoo is Taiga Forest. 5% reduced needs for chocolate, and once again, chocolate, it takes a lot of space in the new world, and the new world is a bit the limit right now. So this is, 5% may not seem like a lot, but when you need, even just on this island, I think I need 50 something, right? What is it? 59 after this 5%, right? So, and just for this space here, so that is pretty good. Then the museum here has 2 sets. The first one is the Jurassic, which, to be honest, I may actually delete in the future. I haven't fully decided yet. Why? Because it brings 10 happiness and also 10% income increase, which are 2 things that are important, but it seems like I could live without them, right? Because we said we are at 39, so we move to 29, and I'm making 1 million on this island. So, I mean, obviously 1 million is, if you look here, this is not, it's not as if, you know, I'm making 1 million of income, it's 1 million of profit. So if I decrease this income, which is almost 10 million by 10%, this is almost 1 million, right? So taking out this, this thing would almost mean that I would only break even. So that's why I haven't done it yet, but maybe in the future. And the main reason why I'm saying that I may not do it is actually because it takes 6 modules. If it were taking only 3, it would be worth it for sure, but 6, that's a lot. Also because the other one also takes 6 for a 5% decrease in coffee. Once again, coffee is in the new world. We need a lot of it, even more than chocolate. I mean, it's 100 and something. Where is it? Let me see, 144 after this decrease. So, you know, definitely this 5% here is a big boost. So these are what I've chosen for the cultural module, no botanical garden. Don't hesitate once again to share in the comments, you know, what else you think could be great there. But yeah, for me, this is the best. Yeah, then the last but not least is what houses do we have? So once again, if we're going back into the balance to go into the skyscraper maintenance, or you can see we're making almost 4 million of royal tax. That's a lot. We have only level 4 and level 5s, plus our skyline tower in the corner that I'm sure you saw, because it's big over here. So yeah, only level 4 and level 5. Let's take any. So this is a level 5, 350 full panorama effect. And that's why I only have 4 and 5s, right, to get the full effect. If I press shift, I can see all of the level 5s. And you can see they are mostly on lines, with also some exceptions here, there. So there are a few places where you can have a bit more 5 than 4, basically, is the point, especially in the corners. So yeah, this is just sort of rows, as you can see, and all the others are level 4s. These ones obviously don't get any panorama effect because nobody is lower than them. But yeah, that's the best because we go, you know, this one actually doesn't have, is not in a town hall. Yeah, this one. It's 185 to 350. So it's huge to have the full panorama effect for the level 5. And as you can see for level 4, we're actually sort of breaking even. It's really the level 5s that are making crazy money for us. Almost 10,000 per. When providing everything, of course. So we've covered pretty much everything. I mean, of course, I also have, you know, the propaganda with the newspaper, focusing on only need consumption. Otherwise, the consumption will be a lot higher. And speaking about consumption, let's take a quick look at what it means. You know, we need a bit of wool for the departments, the arcades, a bit of iron again for the arcades, but producing a lot. Some steel, similarly, tallow and glass. All of this is for the arcade. That's why it's so few. It's strange that it's only one. I need to check that. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Oh no, it's because, yes, I remember. All good. The oil, as we saw, was covered, and then we start getting into some of the goods that are really important for investors. Glasses, coffee, more than 100, the watches, the light bulbs, champagne, cigars, chocolate, jewelry, steam carriages only 7, that's great. Typewriters 22, biscuit 32, that's quite a lot, and that's why, you know, I really like that policy is decreasing biscuits. Very few toys, billiard tables, violin, and chewing gum, bit more cognac, so that's one that's a bit more challenging. And then, you know, celluloid, fish oil, and the lacquer are once again for different arcades. So it is really the production or the consumption needed. So it is, ladies and gents, this is a full investor island from zero to finish, couple of hours. Hope you like this episode. Also, if you have any questions, anything I forgot to mention, please don't hesitate to write in the comments below, also to join our Discord community to ask for more. Love to hear about it. And yeah, this is us back into our record series, Skyscrapers. We need to start covering all of these islands now. We're getting there. Okay, once again, hope you liked this episode. If you did, press the like button and hope to see you next time.